Quote, "There can be no question that Candace's serious defamation against me and the Jewish community must be met with a comprehensive lawsuit that will bankrupt her."
Jews are communists, the Jews are fascists, the Jews are capitalists. Whatever it is, we're blamed for it and we're slaughtered for it. And you have said so many lies about Israel, which you really should repent for, just because one day you're going to stand before God. But be that as it may, I've always thought to myself, could it be that it's sexual repression that makes so many people, these anti-Semites, hate Jews? Because so many people like you and Candace Owens are obsessed with Jewish sex.
What?
We're going to fight you guys far away from the train. We are going to fight you when you start your lies. The ADL is Hitler, and the Jews are genocidal, and Israel started 9/11.
The ADL is an anti-American, and is spying on the American people, and is censoring the American people. The ADL is an anti-American.
Say whatever you want about that, but don't deny the Holocaust by saying that the ADL
is helping steal the next election.
The ADL never put you, Alex Jones, into a freaking concentration camp and tried to gas your children, God forbid, okay?
The left wants to arrest conservatives. They want to put Trump in prison.
I don't know what the that was.
Yo, this guy is totally nuts. It's your boy Rashad. We back again with the Black Anomaly Rising channel. This dude, Rabbi Shmuley, man, listen, okay? I've had this guy featured on the channel maybe like 2 or 3 times. I know he did a couple debates with Cenk Uygur. Rabbi Shmuley kind of smoked him, but things, due to the rabbi kind of being a nutcase, he kind of starts to make himself look bad over time, the more time you see him on the screen. Because basically, if you sneeze wrong, if you look cross-eyed, if you breathe incorrectly, then you're labeled an anti-Semite by this guy. That's how he works. He is totally unhinged. He's totally lost it. I believe that a lot of these folks on the October 7th attack against Israel, essentially these guys kind of started going scorched earth and ruining the reputation of a lot of, I guess, more level-headed Jewish individuals. They essentially started acting like what they accuse black people in America of acting like, which is essentially race baiting, blaming any and all criticism on racism, right? That's one of the things that Ben Shapiro, for example, has called out numerous times. Whereas now you have people like Rabbi Shmuley, and to a lesser extent Ben Shapiro, essentially calling everything anti-Semitism, especially if you are criticizing Israel with the way they're handling the conflict with Hamas and the damage and unfortunate destruction to a lot of Palestinian people. So the rabbi went up against Alex Jones. Now, I saw Alex Jones say he wanted to talk to Shmuley, but I didn't know this was actually going to happen. Man, look, before we get into that craziness, I want to show y'all his response to that ridiculous costume that he wore.
Purim is a day of celebration. We feel bad for Candace Owens that she lost her job, so I figure with her image of what Jews are supposed to look like, why not at least validate her? I am dressed up as a Candace Owens Jew. Now, this is not a Christian child, this is a Jewish child. But if it would be, I got my Christian blood. Mmm, spicy, delicious. I got my Jewish nose. I have filth, because Jews are all filth. And more than anything else, what does AD have? Money!
So that ridiculous costume he wore, in my opinion, was totally uncalled for, proving that this guy has mental issues. I don't know. He's basically like a complete clown. I don't know what it is with this dude. And he actually went out of his way to defend this. I've never seen this guy actually take responsibility for making a mistake or going too far. Take a look.
It was a week ago tonight that in order to crystallize how damaging the information that Candace Owens was spreading about the Jews, that we love money, that we control sex rings in Hollywood, that we promoting the idea that we drink Jewish blood, that I actually dressed up so that you can visualize exactly what she was saying, because the picture's worth 1,000 words. No one did anything about it for 2 years, except 2 people, me and especially my daughter Rachalea. No one. Ben Shapiro was paying her as she said this stuff. But what did you guys get upset about? You got upset about the costume. Not for 2 years that someone was defaming us, that someone was broadcasting all over the place that Jews are murderers, killers, that Israel's genocidal, that the IDF are not heroes, but they're killers. That didn't bother anyone. A stupid, dumb costume. You see, why don't we defeat anti-Semitism? Because we don't fight anti-Semitism, because we're afraid to fight anti-Semitism. Because the Jews are always trying to be. We are weak-kneed, and we are cowardly when it comes to fighting anti-Semitism. We are not strong enough. And we are much more interested in being respectable and being accepted by everyone instead of getting straight to the core issue. That anti-Semites have to be called out. That they should not be broadcasting on the Daily Liar. That they shouldn't be broadcasting anywhere. That there's accountability when you lie and say that Jews are Nazis. There's accountability when you say the IDF is the Gestapo. That there's accountability when you say that Jews, instead of being the most moral and righteous people, the most moral and righteous nation, which is what Israel is, the most moral and righteous military on earth that takes every precaution to protect civilians. When Candace Owens got up and said that we love blood, that didn't bother any of you. You continued to pay your monthly subscriptions to the Daily Liar, but the moment I put on a dumb costume that said, by the way, this is what she's saying we look like, people all went nuts.
In addition to that, he's also beefing with the Daily Wire. It's like these guys are practically having a civil war now. That's how you know that we're in dark times. Like now a bunch of the Jewish people can't get along, or at least a lot of people can't get along with Shmuley. But I've looked online. A lot of people support Shmuley. And I'm like, who the hell supporting this dude? This dude's nuts. The only time I even gave him anything close to support is because he made Cenk Uygur look stupid. But he also made himself look stupid too. So, but now him and Ben Shapiro are beefing, or at least Shmuley's beefing with Shapiro, because Shmuley's, I guess, beefing with every freaking body at this point. Take a look.
To paraphrase the great Winston Churchill when it comes to Ben Shapiro, never in the annals of Jewish history has one so small been guilty of a sin so egregious over a complaint so petty. Ben, you're complaining about a Purim, like a Halloween costume. You employed and raked in millions of dollars off a host who highlighted that Jews drink Christian blood, that the Israeli Defense Forces are guilty of genocide. Someone who praised Kanye West, who loves Hitler, who killed 10,000 of your people every single day. You didn't create the Daily Wire. You created the Daily Liar, a sewer of racism, that George Floyd died of a fentanyl overdose, not because he couldn't breathe with a cop's knee on his neck, and misogyny, that Brigitte Macron, the First Lady of France, has male genitalia. Are you guys not embarrassed? It's disgusting. But above all else, that Jews are killers. We killed Michael Jackson. We run sex pedophile rings. Ben, this stuff is rancid. It's gross, and you should be ashamed.
Man, so I'm gonna react to this with y'all. This Alex Jones clip. This mug was actually pretty freaking hilarious. Let me full screen this. It's a short clip, so they did a full video. Be sure to check out the full video on the Infowars Twitter. Alex Jones, you can find it on there. Rabbi Shmuley posted like a bajillion videos of this, some videos for Alex Jones, and you'll find Infowars on Twitter as well. So without further ado, let's get it.
Let's talk about the reality. You just said that the Jewish people battle. You're the guy on Howard Stern doing all this wild stuff. You're the guy in videos you release yourself. It looks like your grandson or some kid that you're table dancing on, grinding on him. You're grabbing, I think it's your granddaughter's or a little girl's breast. You're talking about my penis on air, and just now that my penis is small, and all the rest of this stuff. And you're sitting there, are a famous guy for being, let's just say, wild. I wasn't going to raise the fact that you got kosher dildos and butt plugs. I would ask her, are you wearing one now? And then you tell me, you have a butt plug right now?
May I answer?
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Butt Plug.
May I answer? Okay.
Do you have a model called the Holiness?
Well,
Yo, I mean, very short clip. I mean, the actual real video is like an hour, okay? So, and I saw about half of this, okay? Too much to react to in these videos. I'm trying to make some of my videos a little bit shorter. But, yo, this guy, basically, for those who don't know what this is about, like, how the heck did we get here, Rashad? So, Rabbi Shmuley, well, his daughter operates some sort of sex type of store, and they sell these items that they claim are for couples, right? They claim that this is for married couples to keep the spice going, keep the spark alive in their marriages, okay? That's what they're claiming. I mean, I'm sure that they'll make any excuse to get their freak on, okay? Like, that's really what it is at the end of the day. So he can try to sugarcoat this and say it's about keeping this hot, passionate marriage. But we already know how this stuff is probably going to be used in private, probably going to be used for cheating, and probably going to be used during the marriage, probably going to be used for everything. But, you know, who knows? Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe Rabbi Shmuley has obviously demonstrated himself to be a honest, stand-up guy who absolutely would never betray any of his morals, okay? But this guy is totally unhinged. I feel like he snapped. Like, he had to. Something was broken loose on October 7th. Like, maybe he got hit by some shrapnel or something, and he's never been the same since, because this dude, I mean, I didn't literally hear about him, I think, until October 7th had occurred. Then all of a sudden, Rabbi Shmuley's kind of popularity and him talking and posting consistent video after video kept popping up. Constant criticism of Candace Owens, which occurred actually prior to this. Now that I think about it, yeah, he was actually kind of prominent prior to this, as Candace Owens herself mentioned that Rabbi Shmuley's been on the attack against her for like the last 2 years, which if you actually do a little bit of research there, you'll see that that's absolutely true, because Kanye West came out against Jewish people and with actual real anti-Semitism. In fairness to Shmuley, I'll concede that point. However, Candace Owens refusing to denounce Kanye West as a friend, I also don't think it's fair, because I feel like in real life, if you have friends, even if they have a viewpoint that you don't necessarily fully agree with, you don't just stop being their friend. You can say like, hey man or woman, I don't really agree with your point of view here. You know, and that is what it is. You don't have to like never associate with them again.
I also hope that some people respect that when you have a real relationship somewhere, you don't turn those individuals into a headline because there's peer pressure to do so.
Because you have no idea what these people have been through together that make them friends. You see what I'm saying? Like, I can have people with all kinds of, I got people that's far leftist, including in my family. Do I excommunicate my entire family because we don't agree on who you should vote for? You know what I'm saying? Or we disagree about, hell, some things about black history that have happened that are factual. We still don't agree on the actual impacts that they have today. I mean, we can't just denounce friendships with people who are our actual real friends. I have a feeling that Rabbi Shmuley, for example, wouldn't denounce anyone who he would consider a friend if they did something that he didn't like against another group that happened to not be of a Jewish group. People like him, and if you saw my previous video, you see guys like Ben Shapiro are open to criticizing other groups and being extremely critical of other groups, blatant racism at times, right? Being just extremely petty, nasty individuals. However, when it comes to the Jewish faith and the Jewish people, oh, no, you can't say anything bad about that lest you be labeled an anti-Semite, and don't even think about criticizing Israel, because you know what that means too. Anti-Semitism. It's really that simple with these people. Some of these guys are pea brains, and I absolutely think that Shmuley is definitely one of them. Alex Jones said he's going to talk to this dude again. I'm like, dude, you're looking for a punishment, because it seems like you can't reason with people like this. There's no conversation to be had. At this point, it's really just entertainment, comedy gold. It says there's definitely not any substantive conversation that you're going to be having with Rabbi Shmuley, at least not anytime soon, okay? Like, the fact is, the dude is nuts. He's unhinged. He's crazy. He's probably doing it on purpose because he knows the camera's always on. You know, it just is what it is. So I would say Alex Jones, hell, if you thought Alex Jones was crazy and y'all just being introduced to Shmuley, then welcome to clown world. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate you watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
About it. Like, I'm not pregnant anymore. I'm like, let's go. Like, let's go, Rabbi Shmuley. So he sees me defending myself, and he's now doubling down. He's getting crazier.